Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So question is, what is services? So if you want to really understand services, you have to little bit go and understand the architecture of overall. See here, we are the human being. Then what has happened? We send the request through kubectl. You know that, right? kubectl, we write a YAML file typically. You can write a JSON also, no problem. YAML file, and then we send that YAML file to kubectl. How you send it, you know that. What it contains, you know that very well. Now kubectl send to API server, correct? And then I'm not talking about again same topic, etcd, scheduler, yeah, etcd, scheduler, and controller manager. Now you know all this stuff. You spend good amount of time with this. After this, API server send this request to API server. Send this request to what? I forgot actually. What? Anyone? So, can you hear me?
Yeah, control manager.
No. But overall, this master will send the request of this YAML file to perform where? Kubelet. Right? Kubelet. And again, kubelet, we have few component rules. Tell me to discuss one more time. Docker. We have proxy and something. And kubelet creates a pod. That is important. So here, if you look at this here, this is a master. This is a worker. Now, guys, understand this. Worker is having the pod. Okay, worker is running the pod. Correct? So now we need to access this pod. Now, how do we access? I am outside. I am a client, end user. So how do we access it? Do you understand this?
External load balancer.
Yeah. So we'll have to little bit discuss. So you can understand. Please understand, this is the most important topic. If you do not understand, it will be confusing for us. It will be good, not good. So guys, forget about everything now. This is done. Only think about where the pod is. That's all. Forget about all these components. Rest of the components, forget about. Okay, so I have one worker. This is a one worker. and this is a one worker. Two worker I got it. Okay. Now, because worker has a physical IP address, worker has a physical IP address. One worker, two workers. So worker has a physical IP address. Now there is a pod running here, and there is a pod running here. Of what? Apache. Or let's say web server, front end. Front end. Let's not talk about Apache. Front end. Okay. Now there is one more pod which is running here. This is a back database. Very simple step. It can be in real time and too many steps on our services and our front end, back end, and all. But front end, back. Now, where I am outside. So I am outside. Okay. I'm not talking about the operations. Forget about the operations. You are not operations. Think about it. You are an end user. So you tell me what you want to access. Front end, right? You want to access both front end or one front end? Tell me.
Any front end.
One thing. You don't want to access both, right? One, right?
Yes.
So guys, this is your cluster. Okay, understand that. I'm creating a border of cluster. Right now, it's just a two node cluster, but in real time it can be 200 also. Concept will remain same. Okay, so now the problem here is, can I hit this IP address? Yes. Can I hit this IP address? Yes. So this is done. Can I hit this IP address? No. Can I hit this IP address? Understand that, guys? Please tell me, so accordingly I will move on. It's very important concept. Many people get confused.
Yeah, understood, right.
Okay. Now you tell me, so if I can reach here, I cannot reach here. So now what is the bridge between this and this? Then if you
Port forwarding.
so understand that. So if you look at this here, there is a one which is managed by this, it's 0. Okay, it's 0. This is managed by it's 0. I also told you there is a queue proxy running on each node. Okay, queue proxy. And there is also I told you VBNet, which is empowering the driver to queue proxy, which is here. Empowering the routing table, all this queue proxy. So all together these, okay, this is a queue proxy, this is a V Ethernet EC0 queue proxy. First let's see that. Okay, so you'll get a visualization. See here, each config I find. I'm in the master, okay? See, this is a weave. And this is the data path, which is a queue proxy. Now you see VS and all, this is each pod get one container, one network. So that's these are the VS. Okay. And these are the VS. Okay. So like this. So understand that if I hit here, can it be proxy from here to here and here to here? Because understand that there is a two network. Clearly understand. There is a node network. This guy can talk to this guy. This guy can talk to this guy. Understand that? And there is a pod network. In my case, VNet. So there is a pod network. Pod network means this pod can talk to this pod, and this pod can talk to this pod also to the Q proxy. To the Q proxy, because that will make it happen. I'm not teaching you networking advanced, but just covering little bit of it because it's required to understand. So this is the stuff. So now what needs to be done? So first forget about this guy right now, because I have a problem here. A problem is there is a two pod. So can we do one thing? Can we create a load balancer here? Load balancer, but the load balancer should work on the pod network, this is a host network, understand that. And this is a pod network. This is each pod get one network, and with the help of QProxy and VNet, that's a pod network. So both are different, okay? So because pod network I can reach out, routing is possible. Node network. Pod network I cannot reach out. But anything inside the cluster, anyone can reach out to anyone because of QProxy in each node. So that's the one thing. Okay, so here what is happening? What is happening? There is a pod and there is an IP address. So let's create one inside the cluster only. Understand? So let's create one load balancer. So here what I'm doing, creating one load balancer from the front end. Okay, this is the LV. Now when you create a load balancer for LV, from the front end, then here if you hit here, then this guy will decide either go here and okay. Now we need one more load balancer from the back end. So let's create one more load balancer at the back. Okay. So load balancer. This is the back. So how many load balancer you got it? Load balancer 1, load balancer 2. Now this load balancer will get a fixed IP address, but pod network IP address. Okay. IP address. Okay. So whenever you hit to this IP address inside a cluster, understand, pod network which is activated inside a cluster. So whenever you hit to this IP address, it will redirect to one of the pod front end. And if you hit this IP address, it will hit one of the back end pod. So far guys, did you understand that stuff? What I'm planning right now? Whatever I'm planning?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Remember, this load balancer is on pod network. Now guys, the question is how to create this load balancer. How to create this load balancer. Answer is this: creating a load balancer inside the Kubernetes cluster, it's called service. It's I'm not using the official word, okay? Balancer on pod network, balancing pods. Pod network, it's load balancer. It's a managed service. Managed service. Now where load balancer is working, don't get into that. It will confuse you, but yeah, it's a managed service. That means you don't have to worry about it. Just enjoy the functionality. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Okay. Now what needs to be done? See here. This load balancer, because of the pod network, can be, remember the container exposed let's remind you actually. Not very difficult concept, but we just get complicated ourselves. This is a Docker I'm talking about. This is a container. Container we have network, host we have a network. Container, so whenever someone hits to the host network at certain port, this will redirect to container port, because this part they understand the container network also, because EC0 and Docker 0 is here. Did you understand this? This is called port forwarding. We tried it. Yeah. Correct, no? So same thing we do that also. Yes. Load balancer. So what we say, we write a rule saying that anyone hit to this particular port, 80 or XYZ, whatever it is, then do one thing, redirect to this. Anyone hit to this port or whatever it is, do one thing, redirect to this. Like that. So now you see that. Okay. Look. It should be like that. Okay, redirect to this. Okay, so from here, whenever, now look at this here, now what you are doing, you are hitting to the IP address of host and that port, and where you are redirecting, request, load balance. Where you are hitting the IP address of node and where you are being redirected, getting a point. Right, getting my point. Yeah. Okay. There is no problem.
You should hit the load balancer, right? Not the host. Right?
What is that?
The end user has to hit the load balancer, not the host IP, right?
I told you, na. The load balancer, which is from here I created, some coordinate network. You cannot hit this. Cannot hit, no.
Yeah. Got it.
Now there is a problem. There is another problem. The problem is, I don't like to hit a two node. Why should I hit two nodes? I don't remember the password. Do you hit the two node? No. What we'll do, we'll create a load balancer outside. This is called external load balance with the help of cloud. So now this will load balance this and this. Are you getting a point now? Are you getting a point? Now I will hit the load balancer of this. Understand? See this flow. So I hit this load balancer. Load balancer will direct one of which. From here it will direct this load balancer, internal load balancer managed by pod network, and this will redirect one of the pod. And this is where I came. And from the front end, if you want to reach to the back end, you cannot go directly. You have to reach to, and which is possible all the time because both are in the pod network. Did you understand the overall flow? Did you understand that, guys? Yeah. And again, you will not hit the load balancer. Here you will have a DNS server. DNS server means www.xyz.com, and you will hit to the www. This will relate to load balancer reference. So this is how overall from the end-to-end activity happens. Make sense? Yes. Any doubt, any questions, any confusion?
So one question, so if I would ask, like each of these nodes are like one of my servers, so I can imagine like that, right?
Yeah.
So I can load balance them through external load balancer, and I can use it as I was using before.
External load balancer you have on the cloud. Cloud you can use the cloud.
Yeah. So let's suppose that today without Kubernetes and this containerization thing, I had load balancer, and behind that I had let's suppose two physical machines connected. So but instead of two physical machines, now I would have this containers, right? Like two nodes.
What is happening? Not confusing. See here. there is a two network. Understand that. There is a two network. Actually, there are two network. Two network is, there is a one network. I'll put it in a different way so you'll understand. So there is a one network, okay? Now there is another. Here you have a certain services, okay? Running. So what you created? One load balancer, one same service. So here you created one load balancer. Here also you have a one network, created one load balancer for the certain service. Now the question is, when someone hit these services, from here you should transfer to this service. So this is something like is being called a bridging. So port forwarding. So here if you look at this image, pod is running on the pod network. Host is running on the host network. For host, this. For pod, this. Now you have to bridge this gap between the both load balancers. And that gap is bridged here. Okay. Routing. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay. So if you get this point, I will show you the demo. Okay, sir. Unfortunately, this demo is not possible in the lab what we have. This demo also not possible in the lab what we have. But I will try to show you the demo. This stuff in the AWS. And same setup. Till here it's same setup. Okay, so now let's understand, now with this perspective, now let's understand what is the service. So, now this discussion I skipped it because first day we decided let's not have too much of discussion. So okay guys, so can we start if you have no questions? Okay. So first question is what is service? So let's understand pictorial. There are 6 nodes. Look at it very carefully. There are 6 nodes we have, and each node we have a pod. Okay, look at this. One node has a 2 pod, and then we have a pod, and then inside that container, front end and DB, different kind of container. Okay. You also know that if the pod get deleted, okay, the pod will get deleted, then it will get replaced with a new pod. So that we know very well. Okay. So now the problem here is there is a 4 front end, same. 4 front end, 2 back. Now, which front end will communicate to which backend? That is important. That is important. How? So that is where I'm only talking about the internal, okay, pod network, not on the node network. Forget about the network or node network right now. Pod network. In this, because it's working across the multi-node, how this each pod will communicate to the backend? How? Which one will talk to which one? So there is no direction. Which front end will communicate with which backend? See here, there is upgrade has happened also. Now there is a more complexity. So upgrade has happened and there is a more complexity. So it will connect to the V1 or a V2. What exactly? Okay. And IP address also keep changing when you upgrade. So look at this here. Okay. So guys, are you comfortable with this so far? So what is a solution here? Load balancer service. What we call it? Service. So here what we do, we create a service. Okay. And service such as load balancer, which has a fixed IP address and a DNS name, and so from the front end you talk to the service and service redirect to one of the DB. So here for DB we created a one service. Make sense? Guys?
Yes.
Now what will happen? You can add
The
more
service
pods.
will be having the static IP.
Service will be having, okay, understand that. There is a difference between static IP and public IP. So when you say service will be having static IP for the pod network, yes, that will never change. Pod IP address gets changed, but service IP address will never change. But when you say service will have a public IP address, no. Service will not have a public IP address. Yes, static IP address is there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So now, why I said, because many people think static IP means I can access from anywhere. No, it's not like that. Okay. So here. Okay. So, so you may get more pod. Let's say you replicate. Now you understand the replications also very well. So the moment you replicate more pod, then automatically these pods will get registered to the service. That how I'll talk about it. Here you see the upgrade has happened. So now you have a 4 pod, out of which 2 pod is in version 1 and 2 pod in a version 1.2. So how to address this scenario? This is a complicated scenario. How to address? So here 1.2. So sometime in a simple way I'll put it. Sometime when you log into Gmail, you see 50 emails. Again log out, log in, again you see 100 emails. Again you log out, log in, you see 50 emails. So this is something like that. Here the scenario is there. So will you accept this behavior? Of course not. So how do you deal with this? How do we deal with it? So that can be dealt with labels and rocks. Understand that there are two problems here. One is like there are 2 pod, you replicated more, so you got a more pod. Now the question is how this new pod will get registered to the service. That's the first question. Again I'm repeating this question. How a new pod get registered to the same service? How this will be identified? And second question is, there is a new pod, there is a old pod. So how can you redirect the service, either go for new pod or old pod? So the answer is label rock. Same label which you have seen in the each pod deployment application. Let's understand that. Look at this here. This is a service here. So your service labeled with the prod BE 1.3. And you see there is one pod, there is a prod BE 1.3, pod BE 1.3, pod BE 1.3. So here you see the service is labeled with pod. Pod is labeled with service. So understand that any object, I repeat, any object in Kubernetes, in fact in Docker also, you have to give it, you can assign a label, and you can assign a label means as many labels. Now question is, what is a label? Label is nothing but a combination of keys and values. Okay. So you can add it. So in the deployment when we were creating our pod, you saw that we were adding the labels also. So any objects you can add a label, and that's the very good. Now the question is how this label impact, the pod labels impact the service. So please understand this line. Understand this line. Okay. If label of the pod, okay, if label of the pod matches with the label of service, okay, label of the pod matches with the label of service, this automatically pod gets load balanced by service. So that is the first question.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
See here, there's a question, right? There's a 2 pod. Again, you got a 2 more pod replication. So how this new pod will get attached to the service? Answer is this one. Again, I'm repeating. Label of pod, if it is matches with the label of service, these pods automatically get load balanced by service. Now the question is how? Because of the core DNS. Okay, discovery service. There's a discovering service which is there in your cluster, which you have installed it along with it. That will make sure this will happen. But this statement is having asterisk sign. That means this statement is not entirely correct. Again, I'm giving a disclaimer. This statement is not entirely correct. Which statement? Hear me out once. If the labels of pod matches with the labels of service, then pod get load balanced automatically by the service. That this is statement. But it is a partially correct. Now what is the correction needed? For that I need to show you the demo. So I will correct it during the demo, because if I show you, then you will understand it well. Okay. So did you understand the conceptually how the label works? How this label is important? I think one person has asked me why we are using labels and all stuff like that. So did you understand the label importance of labels now?
Yeah.
Okay. So here that happens automatically because of the core DNS. Say they update the service the moment they found out the labels of pod matching with the labels of service. Understand that. Matching with the label of service. Now second problem, there is a 2.1.3, 2.1.4. So how do you solve this? So if you see that here, there is a service prod B labeled with prod B. And there is a pod also labeled with the prod B, prod B, prod B, prod B. Though we have additional label also 1.4, 1.3. So now because of the bad labeling, by the way, this was a bad labeling or good labeling? You tell me. And who's doing labeling? We are doing the labeling. So tell me, in this all the pods have been labeled badly. Is good labeled or bad labeled?
Yeah, this is a good level.
They are not unique.
Tell me.
We cannot uniquely identify it because of common label.
Anyone else observe?
No, these are good labeling, because we know what version of our application has deployed.
DB and R are having same label.
Right. Yeah, it's not a good level, guys. Think about it. You look at the containers also, right? See, sometimes I'll tell you this behavior. Sometimes you hit to the service, it will take you to the database. Sometimes you will take you to the hit the service, it will take you to login page. Will you accept this behavior? Of course not, right? So it's not a good labeling at all. Okay? Understand or not?
Yeah.
So yeah, labelings are correct, but the containers were not correct ones. So label it very carefully. And this is our job actually. We got something to do in Kubernetes. Good. Okay. So here, now the question is, how do we solve this? See here, you add one more label to the service 1.4. Now that I just said very clearly, understand that label of pod is matching with the label of service, then automatically load balances happen. So here you added 1.4 more filter. Now it is balancing only the older one, not the newer one, not the older one. Now for the older one, you can create one more service actually. Service is a free in Kubernetes. You can create as many you want it. It's a managed services, no problem. So this is the guys service. Now what is a service? So let's understand. Service only send the traffic to healthy pod. When I say healthy, that means it should be running. It's not like, okay, it is a failed or something like that. No. And can be configured for session affinity. Yeah. This service you can configure for session affinities also. Now this service can point outside of the cluster that I was talking about in the same before that I discussed. Service can point to outside of the cluster also because of on the node network. This service can be exposed on node network, and that load balancer can go to the node network. So that I told you. Okay, understand that. So that can point to a, and it is a random load balancing. If you ask me the logic, what is the logic for this diverting the traffic? It's random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have a 5 port like that, and it uses TCP by default. TCP means IP address and port number. So port number and port IP address. So that is a service. So I hope it is clear now. Service. If you are okay with the conceptual stuff, I can show you the demo also. You're okay with the conceptual?
If the load balancing is random, like how do we make sure like about the performance or something like that? Like if all the routes will be routed to one pod or something like that. So it should load balance across the pods, right?
So that's the job of the service. No, it will always give you that single traffic. What is that?
No, what I said is like when you said it randomly load balances, so but it has to take care of these resources, like how much CPU resources this one pod is using. It should not route that request a load to that particular pod. It should route to the which function is free or something like that.
That is called random, sir. No, this is a service, okay? And you have a 5 pod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Random is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At any scenarios, you never get a more than unbalanced request. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the number of arrows. Is it random? So do you think any pod got overloaded?
But what about, let's suppose like 2 of or like 3 of the requests which are running at pod 1 have done with it, that like other nodes are they are loaded and they will get randomly load balance. So one pod may be get over.
Yeah. First thing, your voice is breaking, so maybe because of that question is not clear. Can you repeat and be
So is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear, but in between it gets broken. Be slow and ask question.
Saying if it was like, let's suppose the first request, so it randomly goes to like 5 of these pods one by one.
Guys, I'm not able to hear him. Are you guys able to hear him?
I think we lost the third.
Yeah, I think. Okay. Anyone else has any questions, guys?
Maybe let me ask this, Rajesh. I think this question is more towards the service handle multiple load balancing algorithms like round robin algorithm or 8-bit algorithm.
Random load balancing.
Random load balancing. Okay.
Random load balancing. Okay. So, guys, this is a random load balancing. Service. Now let's get into the demo. Now what I'm thinking, because the network still has some issues in the thing, so I'm thinking to migrate to AWS and show you the demo over there. There's one more advantage here. In that demo, I'll be able to show you this one also. Load balancer, outside load balancer and DNS. Okay. So I have a cluster already created, older one, for the public latches. So just do that. Okay guys, so now I'm showing you the demo, and I will also give you the lab, so you can also do that. Okay, you have to look at it very carefully. I would request you give full concentration because I won't be able to repeat that. That's the problem. Okay, so guys, let's get started. Now, kubectl get nodes. It's ready. You see that. Now, how do we see that service? So I think those are the things by now you understand very well. So these are the services are there. Okay. These are the service, get service. Okay. And how do we delete a service? So delete existing service. Don't delete this service, guys. Don't delete it. So I'll delete this service, this service, this service, this service. All these services are older one. Okay. The command is wrong. Delete SVC. So I cleaned up all this SVC. Now you will find whenever you get SVC, you'll find something like that. Don't delete this service. This is your assignment. What is this? Assignment. What is this? And if you can tell me, I'll feel very good because that way you understand the service anatomy. Okay. So now do we have any deployments? kubectl get deploy. And now you see there's a deployment 18 days ago and 11 days ago. So I'll just sacrifice it. Delete. Because I want to show you from the scratch. Deploy. This one. This one. This one. And this. Okay. So now you got this the deployment we have no. So maybe the pods also will not be there. And there's a pod but it's getting terminated. Okay. And delete pod and cordon hello pod and Nginx. I deleted all this pod. So okay. See. So I cleaned up. I don't think so I should teach you because you know that very well. And now you see that I don't have any pod. I don't have any service apart from this. This is the default. Don't touch this. Okay. So now can I create one pod? Can I create? So the pod.yaml. Okay, this is good. So can I create a pod in the default namespace? So here kubectl create -f pod.yaml. And now you see that I got one pod running. It's still in pending, but it should be running. Why it's running? Okay, just a second. So I think troubleshooting is a part of the session. So let's understand this. Describe all the commands you know. Describe node pod. First pod. Why it's pending. And if I see it says there is no nodes available which can tolerate this. How come there is no node available? So I saw that there were two nodes available. Get nodes, out of which one is worker. So why this not accepting the work? I'm very shocked, very surprised. So here kubectl describe node and do this. So this right. And here when I see that it says don't schedule. So yeah, node management, as part of the node management, you can say don't schedule. So this is a schedulable for that is the problem. So I have to again make it schedulable. So how do you make it schedulable? So for that, I will make it non-schedulable. Right. Many things can be said. Unscheduled first and 0, wonderful. Now it should be there now. I ask no to don't accept, but do not accept it.
And what scenario we do that? Like if there any requirement?
Maintenance.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So here 10 demos. Actually, that was my last demo. In that I taught some of my students. So cluster management. So that is okay. So here now you see it's running. Wonderful, it's running, right? Now it's running. Now back to the topic. Remember, pod is running. Now how can you see the labels? -- show labels. LEBELS. And see what is the labels you have? App server. I said very clearly service pod of label of pods matching with the label of service. Load balancing happens. So let's create a service. Now guys, the problem here is I don't know how to create a service. If I don't know, then I will ask. And I ask, can I create a service? Yes, I can create a service. Now after that, what is the full command for it? Again I ask, what service? So this service. And here you need to understand this service. I am not getting you lost in this type of service. What is the type? I will talk about little later, but for time being, whatever I explain you, this service, okay, this service, whatever I explain you, this service is called cluster IP. No. Load balancer. But type is clustered IP. What is the type called? Clustered IP. That means I told you, right? This service IP address will be on a pod network. Cluster IP. So that's called cluster IP. That means IP address you get it from the cluster only. For this service, IP address you get within a pod network, cluster IP only. That's the reason we call it cluster IP. By the way, this is the default service. So here always we talk about this. So when I say this one, okay, I'll talk about rest of the things one by one, not complicate everything at once. So here, then I see clustered IP. So let's use the clustered IP. And again I do the -h. And then I got to know, okay, good, I got the command. This is the command. This is where I can create a service. So this is where. So kubectl create what service, what is the type, clustered IP, what is the name of the service, this one, and what is this, I need to tell you. So this is the service IP address, because the TCP, service IP address, this is the pod IP address, container IP address. So right now it's 80 because I'm running Nginx, right? 80. And here you want to make it 5678, let's keep it, because I want to have a different than 80 so you'll understand the real thing. Before that, I should not forget. So I should tell you all the commands which I wrote. Don't run any of my commands blindly, else you'll be in a problem. So I did these other. Okay. Okay. So I did this one thing. So can I create one service? Let me create. See, I created service. Can I get a service? Get SVC. See here. Type cluster IP. CS cluster IP. IP address this. Which port? Service port 5678. Listening to 80 port which I said. You can describe everything, all the commands I have already told you. So don't let me repeat because I'm expecting you to do that. Okay. Describe SVC. Now look at this only one. This one. See, this is the name, space, label. See, what is the label? Selector. What is the selector? Please focus this line. Selector. Okay. Type IP address of service. This port. Listening to target port. Endpoints command. Okay. Now, can we check the labels matching or not? Get SVC -- show LEBL. See that label of service and label of pod. Is it matching?
No. No.
Okay. One more thing, guys. Okay. So see, the label of pod is app server. Label of service is app hyphen MyCS. Can I hit this IP address? Curl HTTP service IP address I'm hitting. Nothing. Right? Control C. And can I hit the IP address of pod? I forgot the pod. -O wide. Can I hit the IP address of pod? So curl. I'm inside that. So see that. V1. Okay. So now you see that labels are not matching. Labels are not matching. You see that. The labels here is app-web server, app-CS. Now which label you want to modify? Either this one or this one. It's up to you. But typically we don't touch the service. Very less we can modify the label. So let's modify the labels of Tent Demo, QCTL, edit, pod, labels pod. And what was the labels? App is equal to my-cs. So app is equal to my-cs. I modify the labels. Okay, clear the screen. Now can I compare first? Okay, so QCTL edit. Can I compare first? Port label, service label. Is it matching? Guys, it's matching?
Yeah.
Can I hit the service and then see if it is translating the traffic? No. No.
Do we need to use the code 567?
56?
We need the port.
5678. Okay. Understood that?
Yes.
But actually, this is wrong understanding. Remember I said one line. Labels of pod is matching with the label of service, then load balancing happen. That is a wrong statement. Let me prove that statement wrong. And let me correct you and myself also. So here, let me describe this service. See here. The moment the labels matches, they modify the endpoint. This is a pod network, pod IP address. Okay. Now you see here, I said selector, read the selector, read the label. labels of pod matching with the labels of service. It's a wrong statement. Let me prove it. So let me modify this time service label. Edit. 1. Not matching. See here. What happened? The endpoint still is resolving. See, it's not matching anymore. But still, when you hit curl, still. So what is the correct statement, guys? Correct yourself. Let me correct myself. Yes, I told you, I taught you because to make it easier, things easier. But actually what is happening, understand that. Labels of pod must match with the selector label of service. Then load balancing happens. Again I'm repeating, correct statement. Label of pod must match with the label of selector of service. Then a load balancer happens. That means see, this is a service. He's saying I want to select, but what? Any pod with the label this one. That's the reason these endpoints get updated. Guys, did you understand this?
What is the difference between these two, this labels and selector?
Here labels, see, in the conceptually in Kubernetes, any object you can label it. So similarly, you can label the service also. But this service which you are creating should select what kind of pod to load balance. That you specify in the selector field. And that also has the key and value.
Okay.
So here it will go, the label of pod. It should match. Now let me change the selector and see that load balancing destroyed. Let me change the selector. I'm changing the selector. See, this is a selector. 1, 2. See here. See the endpoint. Endpoint, look at the endpoint. None. See here. None. So what should I do? Modify the pod. 1, 2, right? Modify the pod. Modify the pod 1, 2. See the magic. See? Understood or not now?
Yes.
So guys, conceptually you have understood. Huh?
You need to give the port 5679 again
Where?
when you call it.
Of course you have to give. It's a service port, no? It's a service port. You can keep it 80 also. It's up to you. Got it? Guys, conceptually.
Yeah.
So guys, this is the service. Now, wait a second. 486. Let me go. This is the service. Now this service will work in your system also, no problem with it. Yeah, recording. Recording windows got hidden. Anyone knows how to get this?
The top window?
Yeah, I started recording, but that got hidden.
Okay. Okay, recording is going on, but you are seeing the access panel on the top, you are not able to access, right?
Yeah.
So let me share my screen, so it will overtake yours, and
Okay.
oh, this one is not on. So again you will get it back. I'll just share it and unshare it.
Yeah.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.